Hey, Mark here at Marin Bikes at the 2013 Sea Otter with Mtbr.com. So this is a sneak peek at the new 2014 Mount Vision. Big changes on this bike coming up for the fall. First and foremost, goes to carbon finally. So new carbon frame and swing arm platform here, wrapped around 27.5 wheels as well, so going up in wheel size on the bike, based around a 140 travel front and rear chassis. So want to have this bike really designed for the faster XC and trail and enduro racer, kind of bring the Mount Vision back to its roots, where it was that original kind of long travel XC bike. First bike to win a national XC championship as a full suspension model. New for this coming fall, we have our IsoTrac suspension system, and the design principles here is to make a suspension system that was lighter weight than our quad system, but shared a lot of the favorable characteristics that made that system so successful. IsoTrac system relies on a link-driven design here to, again, offer 140 millimeters of travel, as well as having a special flex zone at the back of the seat stay member of the swing arm to allow 3 degrees of rotation at the dropout, and that's to help allow the rear end to stay active under braking and acceleration forces. So with this configuration, it still gives us that great rising rate design that we love on the quad link bikes, which really helps slow down the suspension on bigger impacts. If you're going off for bigger jumps or landing flat on bigger terrain, really helps keep the suspension in control with this configuration. All links roll on Enduro bearings, so high grade bearings in all pivot locations as well. So really reliable, really bulletproof system that's lighter weight than what's found on a longer travel bike. Going into some of the finer frame details here, a new internal routing system for brakes, derailleurs, and dropper seat posts featured here. Tapered steer tube and a 67.5 head tube angle. Going towards the rear of the bike, new backswept seat mast here. Really a nice design here for riders. What it allows us to do is have an effective 74-degree seat tube angle. So when you have your dropper post fully extended for climbing to the top of the hill, it gets the rider in a really nice spread out riding position like an XC bike, but centering the rider's center of mass a little bit further forward on the bike, which is really important on bikes that are longer travel and also have slacker head tube angles. It really helps keep the front end tracking through switchbacks over really steep sections of trail where usually on a longer travel bike the front end tends to get too light and too vague. Moving further down on the bike at the bottom bracket junction, offering a new bottom bracket plate system to work for the drivetrain interface. So frames will feature a threaded bottom bracket unit, but we have a new adapter plate system that really allows the rider to kind of hone in the bike for the different styles of drivetrains that are out there. So if you're a single ring guy, you want to run the new XX1 system, or you have a setup for a single ring, you run a ISCG 05 plate on there to run your favorite guide. Or if you're a double or triple ring kind of guy, we allow this integrated plate that has a drop guard for the inside of the crankset to make sure the chain stays in place in rough conditions, as well as having a lower portion that extends beyond a chainring to protect it from debris. So really unique and versatile system that works with the frame to make sure you can set up the bike how you like to ride. So we'll release all the details on the models that are coming out this fall. This is our top level bike here in the XX1 configuration. As set up with 235 tires and dropper post, we're sitting at 25 pounds as you see it here. And this fall, look for a few more details on upcoming models. Hey, this is Mark with Marin Bikes, hanging out with Mtbr.com at Sea Otter. Going to show you one of our upcoming bikes, the 2014 Attack Trail. So the Attack Trail is our all-mountain enduro style bike. So we have a 150 platform here with a 160 travel fork up front. Frame highlights here. Again, new full carbon frame set here, so all new carbon construction, mainframe and swing arm. Also going to the 27.5 wheel platform. Frame details is a new internal routing system for derailleurs, brakes, and dropper seat posts. Going towards the back of the frame, new backswept seat mast design. Again, for bikes that have a dropper post, when you bump up your saddle for a climbing position, you have an effective 74-degree seat tube angle really helps place the rider a little more forward on the bike, really helps keep the front end planted. On the bike right here, Attack Trail, we're running a 66.5 head tube angle, so a nice stable slack head tube angle for descending. With that 74-degree seat tube angle, really helps keep the rider centered over the front of the bike, keep the front wheel planted for descending. You drop the post with the systems here. Also, besides getting the seat low, it also brings it forward to open up the back of the bike for more rider maneuverability. So on the Attack Trail, featuring a threaded bottom bracket system on here with some integrated options for drivetrains depending on how you want to set up the bike. So tried and true threaded bottom bracket, easily serviceable for race mechanics as well as the home mechanic. With these plates, it allows you to set up your bike to the drivetrain that you prefer. So if you're a single ring guy, you use an ISCG05 plate to mount your favorite single ring and guide setup. If you want to run a double, you have two integrated plates that can be run with a drop plate on the inside to protect the chain from falling off the cranks, or it also includes an extended portion at the lower end of the plate, which helps protect the chain rings from debris. So really nice integrated design to help set up the bike the way you want it. So with Quad 3, again, gives us the ability to change and alter characteristics for the leverage ratio as well as the axle path of the rear wheel. So allows the bike to be nice and supple at the beginning part of its travel, make sure it always adheres to the ground for braking traction as well as climbing. Also has that great rising rate characteristic, so on bigger terrain, landing big jumps, landing flat, it allows the suspension to control the compression of the rear wheel to keep the suspension working properly and keep the rider in control. The bike shown here is our XO double chainring version. As it sits here in a 27.5 wheel configuration with 235 tires, we're looking at 27.25 pounds. There'll be a few different models available. Check back with mtbr.com August 1st for all the details.